Hello again and welcome to Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of caged birds, with a particular focus on the exhibition style budgerigar. New hat. No, not new sponsorship, but I did get this free with a recent purchase from Aviform. I bought their, it was an offer I think that ran until the end of January. And it was I think called a vitality pack, which contained a number of supplements that I would normally use, plus some that I haven't used, or that I certainly haven't used for a long time. But actually of the two that I use, it still worked out cheaper than buying them separately. So I thought I'd get it anyway, and maybe give some of the other supplements a try. And it got me to thinking that it would be useful little episode for me to just run through the various supplements that I use in my shed, and a little bit about why I use them, I suppose. It's actually, I initially thought I didn't use very many supplements, but as I go through them, it seems like over the years they have increased. I don't know if that's common among bird keepers. Anyway, as it's not sponsorship, I shall take this off. And they will get, undoubtedly, they will get enough sponsorship or free publicity, should I say, in this episode as I run through the various products that I use without me wearing the hat. Anyway, as always, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to hit the like button. Do give it a big thumbs up. I always get that wrong, don't I, looking at the camera the wrong way around. Anyway, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, a big like. You know, as always, I do try to hit the 30 likes per video. If you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, then do hit the subscribe button. And of course, don't forget, if you have any comments, any questions or whatever that you want to ask, please do use the comment section on the below the YouTube videos. Anyway, like I say, this episode is going to be talking about supplements. So I guess like most breeders, or many breeders certainly, on top of the normal seed and vegetable diet that I give the birds, so fresh veg and the seed that I give the birds, I also supply them with a number of supplements that I'm hoping will benefit the birds both in terms of their overall health, and they will get certain vitamins and stuff from the supplements that they wouldn't normally, or they are lacking in just a purely seed diet, but also other supplements that help them through the breeding season, and also partly because the birds are kept in I suppose a fairly confined space, and it also helps in terms of their overall health. So I thought I'd talk about the ones that I regularly use, and if I can, I'll try and explain why I use those particular supplements. The vitality pack that I got, you can see here, and there are a number of the products there that I regularly use anyway, so I would have got them because I use them all the time. And the first of those is the Aviform Avigold Advance. So it's this product here that you can see I'm holding up. And I suppose when I go around to visit other people in their sheds, this is probably the one product that I see more often than any other in bird keeper sheds. Now, whether it's the budgerigar bird keepers or those or canary keepers, or other bird keepers, this product is the one that I see most often in their sheds that they're using. It's a supplement that you add to their drinking water, and I've said it in a number of times in other videos. I'm not a particular fan of putting lots of additives into their water. Not because I don't think they don't work. I'm sure they all do, or most of them do. But just because I find it a little bit wasteful, in that you know, you're changing the water probably almost daily, or certainly every other day, and they never get through the full amount that you're putting in there, so I find it a little bit wasteful. However, this product I have I think used probably, I don't know, at least the last 8 years, and it is a product that adds a good deal to the bird. So it is just generally, it's a general multivitamin, and contains electrolytes and minerals and other bits and pieces. So it's a general bird tonic, I suppose, is what we're talking about in terms of this particular product. And it lasts, you know, it will last 2 days in the drinking water. I wouldn't want to, you know, leave it in there any longer than that. But overall, it's a project that I would recommend it. I think it's a really good supplement for the birds. And if I was going to have to cut down on all the other supplements, this would be the last one that I would cut, I think, from my personal point of view. Anyway, so like I say, you mix it with their water, and it's, I believe, you just double check, so it's 10 millilitres per 1 litre of water. So whilst it's quite expensive to purchase, it does last a good long time. So like I say, it's one that I've used for a long time. So that's the first of the products in that Vitality pack that I use. I'll move on to the next one. So the next one that I use that's in that part of that Vitality that I've used again for an awful long time is this product here. So it's Aviform Prolite C, and it comes in a powdered form. You can add it to the water, so you can use the scoop, add it to the water, and use it as a, you know, a water type supplement. I add this to my soft food, so I will put some scoops, a couple of scoops of this into the soft food based on the recommended amount, into the soft food, so they get it via the soft food rather than via the water, for the reasons I gave earlier. So it's a general probiotic, which means that it should help them, you know, give them a general boost if any of the birds have been particularly ill. I use it just generally, like I say, in the soft food as a general, almost on a supplement to a tonic. So it contains prebiotics, electrolytes, and it says can be used as part of their seed. So you can mix it in with the seed, in the soft food or in the water. So another one that I've used for quite a long time, and I've just used it generally as that sort of, to give them that little bit of extra. If I've got any birds off colour, they'll be picking it up with soft food anyway. So that's the other one of those that I use generally in my shed. The other products that are in there I don't use, but I will talk through those at the end of the video. What I thought I'd do first is just talk about the other supplements that I use. Well, the next product I want to talk about is I think a little bit of an unusual one. I'd never have thought about using it, but I watched a number of people's soft food ingredients, and this turned up quite a lot on their ingredients. And a lot of them were recommending it as a way of boosting the vitality of the birds. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I mix it in with the soft food, and it's this. I hope you can read that. As you can probably tell from the picture, it's designed really for horses. So and for horses, it's given mainly around, again, to boost vitality of them. And let me just double check what it's saying here. So age-related hormone stress, so is what it's given for birds, but you can also use it as a general maintenance, it says, so keeping the birds healthy. So what is it? So it's actually just a mixture of herbs, I suppose, and leaves and berries. So they're all dried out. I will read through some of them. I won't read all of them, but I'll just give you examples. So milk thistle seeds, ginseng and olive tree leaves, carrot, so rosehip, and so on. So a number of various different herbs and flowers and other bits and pieces that do. I think it's even got dandelion, yeah, dandelion on there as well. So so it's just a way of getting those additional vegetables into the birds without them having to pick through a whole load of leaves and that side of things. So again, I mix this with the soft food. I normally put 1 scoop in with the soft food, and like I say, whether whether I see any real difference if I was to use it or not to use it, I don't know, in all honesty. But the birds don't mind it. They go for it in the soft food. And it certainly adds something, a number of, I suppose, vegetable, herby type stuff that they wouldn't normally get in their normal diet, and particularly the birds that, I don't know if you have this same problem I do. Sometimes I will get birds that will refuse to touch the fresh veg that I put in. So, or they'll pick through little bits and pieces. They'll pick on their favourite, like the carrot, and leave all the rest. At least this way they can get a bit more into them. So that's the second of the, that's another ingredient that I put into their soft food. We'll move on to the next one, which is a supplement that I use to aid breeding. So the other breeding supplement that I'm using is Breedmax White. It's this one here. Again, I've seen it, lots of people using it in and around there with their soft food. Again, I add it to the soft food ingredients based on the measurements that it says in here. And this really is a vitamin supplement. So it contains a whole load of different vitamins. I'll see if I can get a screenshot of the bit on the end there that tells you what's in it, but it's a whole load of vitamins that are supposed to aid in terms of fertility of the birds. I know this is quite a big in the pigeon circles, I believe, so for the pigeon breeders. So like I say, I add that to the soft food mix based on the I think it's something like 10 grams per every 100, or 1 scoop per every 100 grams. I'll just double check that for you. So let me just double check. It is, so 10 grams per every 100 grams of soft food is how I use it. You can just mix it in with their seeds. So like I say, Breedmax White. I started using this in the soft food probably about 2 years ago, 2 and a bit years ago, after I'd had a really disappointing breeding season. My fertility rate did go up after I started using it. I don't know whether that's the supplement or whether it was just, those cycles you sometimes get in your bird room, where one year you have you'll have a couple of years of poor breeding and then it seems to boost anyway. But I do use that, lots of other people use it. What you will notice here is that the supplements I'm using some of them contain quite similar ingredients, so particularly around the vitamins. So I do have to keep an eye that I'm not overdosing. So if you're going to use the supplements, do check what's in them, just to make sure you're not overdosing on certain types of vitamins for the birds, because it would be very easy to do if you're just adding more and more supplements in. Right, so that's the last of the other breeding ingredient that I put in regularly into their soft food. There is one other ingredient that I use around to aid breeding, but I don't use it all the time because I mainly use it for the fife, and I know lots of canary breeders use this particular supplement, and it's a wheat germ oil supplement. It comes in a liquid form. You can see it here, so it comes in a liquid form. And again, I add this. What I tend to do is I get the groats that I put into the soft food. I keep them separately. Pour this over the top of the groats. Mix it in so the groats begin to take up the oils from it, so it's all over them. And then I will add those into the soft food at the end, so then mixing them back in. So I do find that both the budgerigars and the fives quite enjoy the groats. Budgerigars will go for them straight away. The fives, I know when I go out there and look at the soft food with the fives, they too, this is one of the things that you can see the shells are left. So it is something that they are eating. So that's the other thing that I use is like I say, the wheat germ oil, but I only use it when I'm bringing the canaries into condition. I know some people are, some canary breeders swear by it. I know other canary breeders will say that sometimes it gets the cockbirds too healthy, so too much in condition, and can cause them to attack the hen if you keep using it when the hen is actually into a cycle, so she's on eggs or chicks. I haven't had that problem, touch wood, so far, but then again I've only been using it for about a year. So that's the wheat germ oil. You will notice, those of you that have been following along, that there's one ingredient that I've not spoken about yet, and that is calcium. So adding calcium into a calcium supplement into their diet, and I will talk about that now. Well, I nearly forgot. Before we move on to the calcium, there's one other ingredient I put into my soft food as a supplement, and it's this product here. I think you can see that. So it is a Thrive On product, and I get mine from Sam1 bird products just because I found them easy. I must admit I've ordered a few things from Sam, and I'm really pleased with how quick the delivery comes. And there was one time when I ordered some stuff from his website, and although it wasn't on a special offer, when it arrived there was a special offer included in it, so I got sort of 2 for 1 and that sort of stuff. Anyway, so I would recommend, if you're looking for products, do go across the Sam's website. Again, not sponsored by him, but if someone, a bit like when I'm talking about hay, I always get excellent service from them. If I'm getting excellent service, I will always mention it because I think it's worthwhile. So this product is, again, it contains fish oil, soya meal and a number of other ingredients in there. So and again, I add this to the soft food, just a couple of scoops, small scoops of this in with the soft food, and I think you might if you've watched the episode where we went out to talk to Bob McCabe, he uses a similar supplement, a Thrive On supplement with his birds. So again, it's quite a common supplement that breeders use, and again, I think it just helps get some additional supplements, some additional vitamins and minerals and all that sort of thing into the birds that they wouldn't get just from their soft food. Anyway, calcium. Let's talk about calcium. Put that down. So, if those of you that watch have watched the channel for a while will know that to get additional calcium into the birds during the breeding season, I have historically, nearly always, used just a calcium powder that I get, an animal grade calcium powder that I order online, because I take that powder and I mix it in with the soft food. Now I do this mainly because it's a very, very cheap way of doing it, and I find that if I'm using cuttlefish, for example, as a calcium to get calcium into, I find that most of the thing, they chew on it and most of it's just left on the floor of the cage. At least this way I know that if they're eating the soft food, they're getting the calcium into it. The one drawback of doing that is because particularly here in the UK, and if you're breeding birds indoors, as I am, there's a lack of light. Even if you're breeding, you know, even if you've got a big flight, the amount of light they get in the UK, or for budgerigars in particular, means that their uptake or that conversion into vitamin D that they need to then convert the calcium, or they're able to use the calcium, they don't get, which they would normally get from the sunlight, they don't get. So if you're just feeding a calcium powder, you need to make sure that there is, in one of the supplements that you're giving, there is a vitamin D supplement in there. So I've got those, and a number of the ingredients that I've already spoken about, there is vitamin D in the supplement. However, with that pack that I got from Aviform, it came with a product that I used to use when I first started out, and it's this here. So it is a calciform H1D3. So basically what this is, it's a liquid calcium which also has the D3 vitamin in it to enable the bird to use the liquid calcium to produce, you know, the eggs and so on and so forth. So so I'm going to give this a try. It just so happened that I'd run out of, when this arrived, I'd run out of the calcium powder anyway. So I was either going to have to get some calcium powder, and I thought, well, I've got this, so I will reuse this. You add it to their drinking water, and you know why I don't like doing that. I find it wasteful. But I got this as part of that pack, so I will use this. And I'll let you know how I get on. What I'd say is, in my current process of using the calcium supplement and the D3 or vitamin D supplements that I'm using, I don't get, you know, soft eggshells or brittle eggshells or any of those. So I don't think that my birds lack calcium with the current diet they're getting. So I'm not changing because of that, I'm just changing it because I got that got it free with the pack. So that's the calcium supplement I'm going to be using over the next couple of months, I suppose, the next bit of the breeding season. See how I get on with it. Would I go back to it? I don't know. I find it an expensive way of getting calcium into the birds. Anyway, so that's all of the supplements that I use. I've mentioned there's a few other ingredients that came with that particular pack, so we'll have a look at those now. So like I say, there were a couple of other products that came in the pack. The first of these is this one here, which is a Microform CA, and this is a liquid respiratory aid, so it aids with the birds breathing. So again, you add it to their water. It says here to use it 5 consecutive days if they've got a particular problem. So if you think your birds are struggling a little bit breathing, sometimes you'll find them hanging onto the edge of the wire, you can use it for that. Alternatively, it's once a week as a preventative measure. I probably will give that a try in the water and just see if there's any if I see any signs of the birds improving. You'll know that I give a treatment for one of the throat infections, respiratory infections that the birds can get, and I do that every 3 months. So I'll try this. Maybe try this once a week as I've got it, and see if I see any improvement just generally in the birds' health. So that's that one. The next one then is one that I probably won't use, or certainly won't be using at the moment, and it's this one here. And I'll explain why I'm planning not to use this one. So it's Fatura 12, and this is another a product to aid fertility. And when I've looked through the ingredients on this, they sort of a lot of them mirror some of the ingredients that I'm already given, particularly in terms of breed max and that sort of stuff. So I'm not sure I will be using this alongside those, because I'm a bit worried that I might be overdosing, but I'll go back and have another look and double check. But it feels to me like I'll be overdosing in terms of this particular product if I'm already using all of the other stuff that I'm putting into their soft food. So, but we'll see. So yeah, probably won't you be using that one in the immediate future. And finally then is this a small bottle here that's a concentrated liquid, and it's it says Avimite concentrate, so it's obviously an anti-mite treatment, liquid treatment, and it contains similar ingredients to a lot of the other anti-mite liquid treatments, so it works in the same way. And if you've got mites, you use it for 8 consecutive days, and then after that you would use it once a week. You will use this in the water supply as instructed on the bottle, probably using it just once a week. You'll know that my normal anti-mite treatment is that I will use the ivermectin treatment, spot-on treatment on the back of the bird's neck whenever I've got them out. So I do it once every 6 months when I'm looking at all the birds, or I will put a spot on the back of the neck when I'm putting them into the breeding cage and when I'm taking them out of the breeding cages. And I will also use it when I bring birds back from a show, just to make sure if they've picked anything up in the at a show that they haven't got it, that they get a treatment for it. So that's what I would normally use, but I'll give this a try. Oh, and then obviously I'll use the anti-mite cleaning products that I use on the wooden cages and the nest boxes, and also the powder that I put in the breeding boxes as well. So but I probably will give this a try. I don't see any signs of mite in the shed, famous last words, but you know, keeping them under control is always better than trying to cure it afterwards, or make, you know, prevention better than cure and all that sort of stuff. So there we go, that's what I got with the pack. It's what I use. I've recently been looking online, and there's lots of people on the various forums who are using lots and lots of different products. I do think there's a risk that we can overdose on, you know, supplements, and think that adding a supplement will give us the brilliant results. I think most of the brilliant results that we get in terms of breeding, bird's health, and also on the show bench is down to general stock management. So that's, you know, stockmanship, of looking after the birds, keeping them clean and healthy, giving them as wide a diet as possible. But you know, supplements, I suspect, have their place, as we know that most of the top breeders use them, and in fact most breeders use a supplement of one sort or the other, so they do have their place. Let me know what you use, if you use supplements, or if you don't use them, which ones you use, why you use them. Do, you know, put it in the comments what you think about the products that I've shown you, and the products that you are using, and any that you would recommend to others. So don't forget to put that in the comments. I'll finish, as we finish off this episode, and we haven't had a look at any of the birds, what I'll do is get some pictures of the young birds that are out on the floor of the cages now, particularly the ones in cage 2, that nest of many colours that we looked at before. All of those are now out and either perching or are on the cage floor, so we'll have a quick look at those. But until the next episode, as always, do stay safe and enjoy your birds.